best I could say is that it did come out how I wanted it to come out. I mean, Wayne and I had Wayne. I remember when Wayne hired me on this movie. We had met at this coffee shop, and he's like, "Okay, they've agreed to hire you," because it wasn't easy it wasn't really easy for him to hire me because I'm like a young nobody kid. But so they're like, "Okay, we agreed to hire you. Let's talk about how we're gonna do this." And we talked. I remember our first 2 or 3 meetings talking about it. We came up with this idea, like this real kind of language that we would follow throughout the whole movie, for the 3 different sections of the movie. So when I think about those early meetings and how the movie turned out in the end, I mean it's pretty much turned out exactly how we had talked about. And I had written out, like during pre-production, I had written out a chart of like how about the language that each time period has their own color palette, and like there's a really specific color palette for each period, and there's all these different lensing choices and dolly choices and handheld choices and stuff like that. So I would say that we went in really prepared, and so it turned out as good as I'd hoped it would. I think. I mean, I don't want to sound like a
no, it's beautiful. But you do bring up a point though. If you have a budget, you have time to think about the lenses and the color choices and the dolly.
And you have a production designer who's with you, and we're all partners. I mean, that movie was a pretty big movie. We had a huge crew on there. We had all the support we could have wanted, and we also had time to shoot it. And we shot that in 53 days. 53 days is a luxury. It allows you to like set up a shot and say, "Hey, this doesn't work. Let's try this. This is gonna be so cool." It doesn't work either. Let's try this. It ran exactly like Yes, We're Open. It was like a preview to Yes, We're Open. Like,
I see.
Like before we did Yes, We're Open, Teresa, who's a producer, who was a real catalyst at making Yes, We're Open, because I suddenly had this 2-month break because the movie got pushed, and she's like, "Yes, We're Open. Let's do Yes, We're Open." I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." It was just like that. It was literally like that. And then she's like, "Hey, let's do a practice film." And she's like, "I got this." And she's like, "I got this short film idea that would be really cool." And when you looked at it, I was like, "Oh, that would be really cool." So we went out and just kind of with even less crew, just me, her, and Seng, who was the cameraman on Yes, We're Open, who was my gaffer previously. We just went out and like shot this little short film that we didn't really have a lot of intention for it. We just like thought it'd be really cool, and I really liked the idea. So, and so it ran just like that, where I directed it, Seng shot it, Teresa produced it, and it was kind of like this good trial run. And I think it turned out really good.
And it really is about good head, huh?
It is. There's good head in it. I don't know if it's about good head, but there's good head in it for sure.